Hello, welcome back. Today, a few days ago, I decided to finally do something about these videos because I don't want to keep it just like a random yapping on my balcony, which I liked, but I don't think that it's, as I said many times, entertaining. So I would like to talk about one of the topics which is pretty close to me, and it is about quitting video games, or basically why you should quit video games. I'll try to tell you few key reasons why you should do it and also how you can do it. It is pretty simple, but I still think that most of the people don't even know why they should quit. That's why they don't that's why they aren't trying to quit. So I would like to start with a short story of mine, as I used to be a video gamer as well, or not that much, but most of my childhood or teenage years, most of the teenage years were spent behind the screen. We never had like a home computer, or my first notebook. I got it at like 15 years old, so I had plenty of time without much of the technologies and stuff. But we still had our phones, and it was more than enough for me and some of my friends to spend most of the time in games. We used to play Minecraft a lot, even in school. After school, some of my friends were coming home to my place to play Minecraft with me because back in the day, you had to be at the same Wi-Fi, as I remember well, to play with each other, I think. And yeah, it wasn't that bad. I would say my teenage years were spent in games and behind the screen, but I still was going out and doing some sports most of the times, so it wasn't that bad. But after it, when I started going to high school, it was much worse because not only I got my first notebook for the work purposes, but also I think it was the first year of my high school was when the quarantine was here. So we spent almost a year at home at like online school, which was 2 hours a day. Nobody was paying attention, so plenty of time to play games. This was probably the time I started to slack off in anything else because the games were there all the day, all the time. And even after the quarantine ended, and I returned back to high school and to student accommodation, I wasn't really continuing to play any more sports, and I didn't have much friends over in the city where I was studying, and the games was everything I had. So basically, after I came home from school, yeah, I was hanging out with some of my friends after school, but nothing extra. We just came home, or I just came to the student accommodation and played basically for the rest of the day. I used to play Minecraft, so this was probably the only game I was playing. And the problem was that I wasn't really focused on the school, on myself, and it was the only thing I was doing because at the time it was the only thing I cared about. I was thinking about it all the time, and that was the big problem. So I've got a few notes here so I don't lose track of my idea. I would like to tell you the rest of the story, but I think we should move on, and I should tell you that there are few reasons why you should quit playing the video games. And the most obvious reason is that it's taking time from you. It is pretty time consuming. I don't know how much is like a normal time for an average person to spend in game, but I used to be playing for like even at least for an hour. I think that even the hour 1 hour before bed of playing is more than enough to... No, you just don't want to waste the time by playing games. That 1 hour can be spent by doing something different, you know. I was never used to be reading books or doing anything else except for playing games. But after I quit that 1 hour, I realized that it is more than just 1 hour, but it can be... I can do anything I want. I started reading. So you should think how much time it takes from you. If it's 1, 2, 3, 4 hours a day, maybe more, when you're at school playing some video games on your phone. I don't know. Just think about it and try to come up with some ideas. What else could you do? What else were you meant to be doing? What else would you like to do if there was no video games? I bet you always had some hobbies or dreams to accomplish or something. Like, if you wanted to learn how to play guitar, that 1 or 2 hours a day, instead of playing video games, you could be doing it, and in like a half year, in 1 year, you could be pretty decent in it, I think. So think about it like that. The next, I would say, much bigger problem is that it's giving you false emotions or non-existing emotions or thoughts about yourself. Back in the day when I used to play Minecraft, it wasn't... I would say it's much worse when you're playing like competitive online games with other people. But when you play on your own or maybe with one of your friends, it's not that bad. But still, you are developing some thoughts about yourself. Let's say you're playing Minecraft and you think you are the richest person on the server, which you are not. You're still in your smelly little childhood room playing Minecraft. So it's not that deep. And I don't know what else could be. You're just thinking that you're more than you are in real life, which is bad, because if you feel that you have like your brothers, warriors, you're wealthy, rich, you have nice home and cool skills, you basically don't want to strive it in the real world. So if I was playing some kind of game and I don't know, let's say it's a fitness game, and I was the most jacked and big and strongest person on the server, I probably wouldn't be much hungry for... I wouldn't be dedicated to go to the gym in person in real life, because I already got what I wanted. This is a bad example, but I hope that you understand what I mean. So yeah. Another thing that's a pretty big one, and I come up with that just like a few weeks ago. When you're playing some games, most of the time competitive games or some games with some sort of progression, it gives you false feelings about some kind of progression, which is bad, because every person wants to progress in life. Everybody wants to see some progress in anything they are doing. And if you see the progress somewhere, you don't need it as much to see it somewhere else, I think. So again, it is basically the same point as I said before. If you are progressing in some kind of a game, let's say you're playing Clash Royale and you progressed from Arena 1 to Arena, I don't know, 10 in like a month, which is pretty insane. But still, if you see some kind of progress in the game, you are most likely to not really strive for progress in real life. Again, with fitness, let's say this is pretty close topic for me. If you're seeing progress in some kind of area of your life, it doesn't need to be just games, basically. But the games are pretty bad because they are easy to do progress in them. So, sorry, if you're doing progress in games, you are less likely to go to the gym and strive progress here. If I see that I'm going up from the arenas or building up more wealth in my Minecraft server, I wouldn't want to be in the gym working on myself and progressing on, I don't know, the weight on my bench press or squats or anything. So simply said, do or strive for the progress where it matters, not in the game. Which, yeah, it could matter to you right now, but it won't be for much use later in life, I think, or I hope. So, again, my sheet. How do you actually quit? And I will go back to what I just said, because you want to find an attractive hobby. This could be a video of itself, but finding just one, maybe two attractive hobbies, or some hobbies which you really like and you want to do them, it will basically make you to focus on something else. So you want to, how do you actually try, or how do you find the hobby? You just have to try something. You have to think about what you like to do when you were a child, or you can ask your parents or your friends what they are doing. You can join some of their sports or classes or something. I don't know. Even ask ChatGPT and he could tell you what you can try. Just try one thing for like 1 day, 2 days, maybe 1 week. See how it goes. If you like it. If not, just try something else. It shouldn't be that hard to find your favorite hobby. For me, it was gym, and I recommend you to try gym or some kind of sports. I went to the gym for the first time randomly. I didn't know what to do, and I liked it. From the first bicep curl I did, I really liked it, and from then, I'm pretty consistent, I would say. Yes, there were a few pauses, few weeks, or even months off, but I still like it, and I like to come back. Just try one thing. Let's see how it works for you. Another, you have to set a goal. After you find your hobby, you have to set some goals, because we want to make your new real life a new video game, or your new hobby should be your new video game which you want to progress in. You want to see some goals. So I could go back to Minecraft. You know probably that there are some kind of goals and achievements you have to complete, and you basically want to complete them, or you set some of your own goals. Let's say you want to build a nice base, or you want to build a nice farm, you want to gather a stack of diamond blocks or something, you know. So you just have to find your hobby, set some goals. For example, if you choose to go to the gym, you set a goal to gain 5 kilos in the next 2 months, or you want to bench 60 kilograms for 4 reps, or that you want to be consistent for the next 2 months, go to the gym every single week for like 4 days. It could be anything. And another point is that you should set like a big goal and divide it into some smaller goals, some smaller achievements. So let's say for me, it could be that I want to achieve a goal of 130 kilogram bench press, which is pretty insane because it's like a 30 kilograms up, which will take me a few years, I think. But if I decide to add some small goals, I'll see some kind of staircase, some kind of progression which I have to do. You can add like I have to gain 10 kilograms in the next half a year, or I have to hit 105 kilograms on bench press, 110, 115, 120, etc. Just going small steps. So you have to set a big goal and some small goals to see where the path is. And another point is to track your progress, which is again, as in the games, you probably see some kind of metrics or some kind of small achievements. And if I again use the analogy from the gym, you have to track some of your progress. You can track your calories, you can track every single workout. I, for example, have like a small notebook in which I write some numbers of repetitions and weight from every single exercise I do most of the time if I don't forget it at home. And when I want, I can just open it, look at it, and see that in the last 5 weeks, I've increased my incline dumbbell bench press by 3 reps in average. So some kind of progression is helping you, because most of the time, if you're doing some kind of hobby or something for a longer period of time, you can lose track of your progress and you can feel like you're stuck in one place. For example, I was feeling like I wasn't really gaining any weight. I wasn't really seeing any additional size on myself. And then I decided to buy a measuring scale, or how do you call it? Just a weight scale. I don't know, what is it called. You step on it and it shows you the weight of your body. I don't know why I didn't bought it before. Just I didn't need it, but I bought it to my place, and now I'm measuring myself every single day, and I see on my paper that every single day, or not every single day, every single week, I'm gaining small pieces of weight, but still gaining. And this helps me to remember that I'm still doing some kind of progress. This video is pretty long, so I should explain myself. I should explain myself a bit more. So, some last few points before the end. You have to remember that doing some kind of progression and achieving some goals in your hobby will take more time than in a game. Games are designed to make you attached to it, so the goals are pretty easy to accomplish. For example, in gym, it will take you some time to gain some weight or gain some strength. So that's the reason why you have to track your progress and set some reasonable small step goals. Another point is, if you find a hobby, try to limit the time you play the games. Every single day, you can cut off like 1 minute. If you right now are playing a games for like 2 hours a day, every evening, which is like 120 minutes, if you cut off 1 minute every day, you set a timer for it, in like a half a year, you're done. No more games, which is pretty good. Last 3 points. Keep updating your goals. If you accomplish one goal or few of them, you have to add some more, because one day you'll most likely go to the end and finish every single goal from your goal list, and you have to still keep adding some of them, because if you don't have more, you are most likely to lose interest in the hobby and you don't want to complete any more goals, so you just quit. And the last thing, don't be scared to try. Don't be scared to try. What is it? Another or new hobby. Sorry. Don't be scared to try. If you don't like it and you are trying it for like a day or two or 1 week, just try another until something catches you. And if you're doing something long term, let's say you're playing football for like 2 years and you start feeling like you don't like it anymore, first of all, try to rethink about your goals, achievements, tracking progression. But if nothing works, just quit and try something else. You can try it for like 1 or 2 weeks and then come back to football again if you like. It can happen. I used to be going to the gym for like 2 years straight, and then I decided to take like a 4 months break. I thought that I would never go back to the gym, but I still did, because I missed it during that break. So just try it. So the first goal for you after watching this video is probably to ask ChatGPT or your friend or yourself, or just think about what you like to do and find a new hobby and go try it straight away or tomorrow, just soon. So that's it. It was much longer than I thought. So I should work on explaining myself better. But I said what I wanted to say. So thank you and do your best all the time. Goodbye.